Hey boos, in this video, I give commentary based on my opinion. Nothing is to be taken as factual. We are just here to have conversation. We don't expose and we don't sip tea on this channel. I'm giving you real talk straight, no chaser. Let's see if you can handle it.
Cause I'm a boss. I haven't done anything for you to be proud of.
Of course you have. You are marrying a man who can support you.
Good evening. Happy Thanksgiving Eve. Happy holidays. So I decided to come and do this video. It was requested, y'all. It was requested. Honestly, I did a live stream the other day that got a lot of flack because I said that women don't have any self-control. And I didn't know anything about this. It's crazy because I follow Slim Kim on TikTok and I missed the drama. I don't even know how I missed the drama, but somehow I missed the drama. And it's crazy because I came across the video and kept scrolling. I didn't really think much about it. I don't have anything. I want to say this because before we engage in this conversation, I want to say that there's not one person that I can say I disagree with when it comes to their point of view. But I will say that I am the type of woman that knows how to hold space for women who have different experiences. And I know how to hold space for women who have different opinions. Partially because I understand that our opinions are shaped by our experiences. So who am I to disagree? I may not understand fully, but I'm here to hold space for that conversation to take place. And what I'm hoping is that the girls get to a point where we can hold space for women and just hold space, not comment, not put an opinion on it, just hold space for a woman speaking from a place that resonates and connects a lot to her experience in the world. This conversation is a nuanced conversation. I mean, I can sit here and talk about how I had my, glow up experience, but then there could be a girl who was the same size as me before my glow up, and she can have a totally different experience. And so we just need to hold space for women who have different experiences than us. And I'm gonna say it, we only know how to hold spaces for women when it comes to their traumatic experiences with men. We only know how to hold spaces for women when it comes to other women in spaces that we create for women. We truly only know how to hold space for women who go through traumatic experiences for men. We don't know how to hold space for women who have different experiences when it comes to body image, being a Black woman, being a Black girl. We don't know how to hold space when it comes to different political views. We don't know how to hold space for different lifestyles. We don't know how to hold space for women who want to make different choices. Okay. Thank you for the super chat. Oh, thank you. That is so sweet. Well, be safe. Okay. So I just felt like that's important for me to state before we even get into this topic. So let's dive into this topic. I got a slideshow. Hold on, wait a minute. Thank you for the compliments. Thank you so much. That's so sweet. Okay. So this is where it all started. This woman, her name is Slim Kim. She gets dragged on TikTok and she was removed from the creators program. And I think that is important to state. She was removed from the TikTok creators program, which is how you get paid on there, because she made this video. Her video was banned and it was taken down and it was flagged because of mass reporting. And so now she's kicked out of the creator funds program on TikTok due to, I don't know if it's bullying or hate speech or both. I don't know, but let's get into it. Somebody said, damn, is it that serious? Apparently, girl, apparently.
My favorite thing to be is skinny. And I fear you cannot say that out loud, but it is my favorite thing to be, and it is my favorite fear to not be. And this is just for me personally. This is all personal to me. But I just wanted to say it out loud because honestly, it's all I think about. It's just all I think about. Okay.
So her video gets removed. So let me react to the video. Let me react. I'm gonna react to the video in the way that I saw it, and then I'm gonna react in the way that maybe other people saw it. Okay.
And I fear my favorite thing to be is skinny.
Now, Slim Kim is a Black girl who is slim, most likely has been slim her whole life. I don't even like saying skinny because I've been in this space for a long time to hear other women's experiences when it comes to their body types, right? So if you notice, I avoid the word fat and skinny. I avoid those two words, and the reason is because I read your comments and I'm taking in your experiences, and it teaches me a lot about how I need to be open-minded and hold spaces for women who have different experiences. So one of those things when it came to, if you know my backstory about a glow up, losing weight, losing 182 pounds, then you know my story, right? But in the process of me sharing my story online, there were other women in the comments that would share their stories and what it was like to be slim their whole life and growing up in the Black community. So here's a woman that I'm looking at that most likely has been slim her entire life and probably struggled with that, because when you're a Black girl and you're slim, it's not the same when you're a white woman and you're slim. Two totally different experiences due to cultural differences and cultural standards. Now, the universal standard is skinny, right? But in Black culture, it's on the more thicker side. Okay. And really, let's just cut to the chase, because y'all know I like to keep it real. It's you having more back than you do front. Okay. However that looks, I'm not going to get into it. However that looks, all right? It's having more back than front. And that is the thickness that they uphold and they put on a pedestal within the Black community. So when I was watching this, I'm like, okay, girl, like, yes, you loving yourself. Like, I wasn't like, why would she say that? Like, I don't understand. And this is me, someone who has lost 182 pounds. And yes, I have the fat girl experience as well, which was very traumatizing for me. Traumatizing. All right. But when I came across this, I was not offended. I felt like she was embracing herself as a Black girl. So I kept it moving. Like I didn't even think twice about it, y'all. I did not think twice about it. Okay. So let's continue.
And I fear you cannot say that out loud, but it is my favorite thing to be, and it is my favorite fear to not be.
Now, this is my thing, right? This part was probably triggering for a lot of people. Okay, especially the girls that are still struggling with their body image. You're still struggling with your weight, or whatever that looks like. You're not happy with yourself. And so what she said triggered you. And I understand that, because I used to be you. I used to be you, like, girl, growing up in a Black family and people commenting on your weight, let's not get there. Okay, let's not even go there, right? Not right now. Let's stay focused, right? Let's not lose the plot when it comes to this conversation. But come on now. So I get triggered when anything is really truly mentioned about weight gain. Not really weight loss, but weight gain. So like me, I was just like, oh, okay, like she embracing herself. It is what it is. But the girls who are not comfortable in their skin or they're not comfortable where they are with their weight had a major issue with this. And a past version of myself can relate to that. A past version of myself can also empathize with that. But I don't believe like that was the intent, was for her to make it was to basically put you down to make herself feel better. I think it was just more so this is her personal preference. Like this is how she views herself. And when you truly embody the spirit of self-love, you're never triggered by how other women view themselves because you don't compare. When you truly embody the spirit of self-love, you're not really worried about how other women comment on their beauty, their bodies, or anything like that because you don't compare yourself. And I think a lot of this comes down to you're looking at this woman and you're seeing she's obviously on the thinner side and you're upset with that. You're upset. And you instantly start to compare yourself because you're not happy within yourself. And so two things can happen. You can make some improvements or you can check on, well, why do you feel this way about your weight? Or why do you feel this way about yourself? Or why are you triggered when it comes to her saying the word skinny out loud? Okay. So this is how she feels about herself. This is a personal preference. It doesn't have anything to do with you. And like I said, when you truly embody the spirit of self-love, you're not comparing yourself to anyone.
Here to not be. And this is just for me personally. This is all personal to me.
She said, this is for me personally. This is all personal for me, to me. So she's not talking to anyone but herself. She's saying it out loud, but she's not projecting it towards anyone. She's just saying, this is just for me. This is how I view myself. This is what I want for myself.
But I just wanted to say it out loud because honestly, it's all I think about. It's all I think about.
Now, this part, I mean, I'm pretty sure some of you have been to therapy. So, I mean, you can throw some therapy buzzwords at her when it comes to that part. Some of you may say ED, whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, it still don't got nothing to do with you, sis. It don't got nothing to do with you. That's on her. If she thinks about this all the time, like this is something that she is struggling with, like she's constantly thinking about being skinny, and you may get triggered because you hear ED, which is the eating disorder, y'all. Listen, it still don't have nothing to do with you, sis, at all.
Okay.
So
when it comes to Slim Kim,
so then the video was taken down. They flagged the video. She was removed from the creators fund. Woo. All right. Let's get into this one too.
y'all need to move around because Nicki Minaj made a whole song telling some fucking skinny in the club. Maybe in the world, skinny has been a beauty standard, but in the Black community, you have never been able to be proud, skinny and proud. Like that's not been a thing for a long time. We suffered through the BBL era and didn't say nothing. So if a skinny woman wants to love the fact, she's look at me. I can't gain weight if I tried. I'm gonna love my body how it is. If you don't have this kind of body, you can't be mad at me. I still could love how I look. Move around, thanks. And me loving how I look has nothing to do with me disliking other people and how they look. I worry about myself. And if I want to love myself, if Slim Kim wants to love being skinny, that's her damn business. Do y'all say the same thing to big girls who's pushing love and being big? No, shut the fuck up. If it really offends you, you probably want to be skinny. That would mean you should just go lose some weight. Not.
Now listen, a lot of girls disagree with that because, you know, being slim is the standard. It is the universal standard. And listen, y'all, you are talking to a girl that meets no standards physically. Okay, I sit down a lot, but I'm 5'10". All right, so when I go into stores, there's a struggle there. I'm not average in height. You won't see me downing an average height girl or even a short girl because she's average in height or she's short in height, and it may be easier for her to find clothes, which I heard, because I listened to other women and their experiences, that even when you're short, it can be a struggle because you may have to have your pants taken in. So that's why it's just best that you hold space for women and their different experiences and stop automatically thinking that the next woman has it easier, because you really don't know her story. You only know yours. So hold space for that woman, okay? So I'm not about to be mad at the girls that are average in height that can go into a store and get some pants. I cannot. I'm not going to be mad at them for loving their height. That's crazy. I'm not going to be mad at them for loving their height. I'm not. Like that. Why would I do that? It don't have nothing to do with them. It has everything to do with the standard in society, the system that we live in, but it's not her fault. So why am I taking it out on her? That's crazy. So if she was to say, right, I love my height. I love how I'm average. I'm 5'6", 5'7". What would I look like coming in and saying, oh, like, how dare you say that? I would look crazy. So I would just look crazy, y'all. Like I would look absolutely insane. And so I can't get shorter, you know, I can't make myself shorter. So I just think that that's a bad excuse, because we could even take it beyond weight, height. We could take it to beauty features, hair texture. I mean, if someone is embracing themselves and loving themselves and doing it out loud, it should not affect you at all. If anything, you should admire the love that they have for themselves. When women are out here popping their shit, when I see women outside taking photos for the gram, I'm like, hey, sis, you look good. Like, I'm like speaking life into them. I'm not like, ooh, look at them. Like, why are they out there taking photos? I'm gonna cheer the girls on. And I'm the, like, I don't know about y'all, but it don't take alcohol for me to be the girl in the girls' bathroom at the club. I'm like that all the time. When I see women popping their shit, feeling themselves, I'm going to feed life into them more, not be like, girl, tone that down. You need to humble yourself. I'm not like that. It don't take for me to be intoxicated in the women's bathroom at the club for me to give that girl that energy, because we're women. I know how hard it takes for us to be who we are, to show up and be sexy and feel sexy, like to feel it too. And this girl is feeling herself. I'm not gonna be like, how dare she feel that way about herself? Like, how dare she? That's crazy.
I'd be mad at her for loving her own body.
Saying that you love being skinny is a choice. Saying that you fear not being skinny is also a choice, right? But the worst choice of them all was getting on the internet and sharing that, because now you have a whole bunch of people projecting and stuff like that. But aside from that, I'm not seeing skinny people saying, hey, you know, people, she's just being prideful about being skinny. You know what I mean? Skinny people get shamed all the time. We're supposed to be in this world where like body acceptance, body positivity is supposed to be this thing. So why can't she love being skinny? I'm going to hold your hand when I say this. In a world where everything is set up for you, i.e. skinny people, and everything's accessible to you, why do you not think that saying something like that is harmful? Ask yourself that. And two, as a former member of Bone Thugs and Harmony,
Y'all, a woman loving herself should not be offensive. It shouldn't. It amazes me how we don't get along as women when men are not the op. We don't even like each other. Like, we really don't. Yes, it's crazy, y'all. Like, it's crazy. Ladies, do not speak highly of yourself at all. That's why I told y'all. Remember when I told y'all them self-help books? Them self-help books that are literally catered for women? Burn them. Because once you really start to not give a fuck, you start to talk your shit, you start to maybe create an alter ego where you're feeling yourself, there's going to be someone that comes in and feels some type of way about it. So burn the self-help books, because people really don't want you to feel that way about yourself. When you truly embody that energy, there's someone that wants to come in and humble you, because how dare you feel that way about yourself? Even though you read all those self-help books, you've been working on your self-esteem, Because who's to say, this is my thing, who's to say it didn't take Kim getting to a point where she actually feels this way about herself? You assume she was born to feel this way about herself. But how do you actually know that? She could have struggled, especially growing up in the Black community, with her being on the thinner side. So I just,
myself, my family used to be like, hey, what do you want? What do you have enough food to eat? I understand skinny shaming, but it will never be fat shaming. It will never be the same. They will never be, proportional, because no matter what, the beauty standard still fits you. And this.
Okay, so she just dismissed what it feels like to be shamed as a thinner girl. And to be honest, because I've never been skinny before, I can't even speak on it. I've never been skinny. So for me to be like, oh, it will never compare. How do I know that? How does she know that? Does she have that experience? It's just a question. To the thinner girls, if you're in the chat, can you please explain to me what it's like? What was your experience when it comes to being body shamed for being thin? Because I don't have that. I have the experience of what it feels like to be shamed as a bigger girl, but I don't have the experience of what it feels like to be shamed. I think being shamed about your body in general as a woman can cause like a lot of issues. So to dismiss it, yeah, it's always insane. Like to dismiss it is insane. And it's shaming, right? It's just the body types are different. So how can you really dismiss the other one? How can you put one over the other one? Aren't they both bad? This is like the, sometimes I be seeing people do the oppression Olympics or the victim Olympics. Doesn't it just hurt to be a victim or to be made into a victim? Doesn't it just hurt to be shamed? It doesn't matter like what the details are. Like, doesn't it just hurt that it happens? It's like comparing how you were bullied. Right. And you're telling your story of how you were bullied. And then another person may be telling their story of how they were bullied growing up. And then another person. And then like, we're trying to see, well, who had it worse? Isn't it just bad? Isn't it just hurtful? Isn't it the experience like just hurtful? Like, why are we doing this? This is
projecting on her about like, she never said she hated fat people. It's just something that she said out loud that maybe, she could have better explained herself. But I don't think that like projecting onto her and saying all these things makes any sense, right? I don't think everybody's losing their shit. And I'm just here like, hey, can we get back to the dancing? Can we get back to, I don't know, like this app is going to be gone in 2 months. I want to see some chaos. I don't care about discourse about who's skinny and who's not. The fuck?
The collective outcry on this app when Slim Kim came out and
hold on. Now, I agree with this girl. I do. I agree with her. I agree with the other girl because I can see her point of view. But she needs to step outside of herself to see the other side of things instead of thinking her experience is the only experience that matters. And she's not willing to hold space for slim women being body shamed because that's a real thing. And I'm not here to say if it affects them less. I don't know. I've never been skinny, so I can't really answer that.
Said what most fat people know that many skinny people think is just indicative that we are not mentally prepared for the shift of conservatism that is happening in this country. The rise in body fascism, the narrowing down of what is seen as beautiful or what is seen as an acceptable way to look has been happening for some time now. If I'm being real, it started with the deer versus doe eyes versus siren eyes versus dark feminine versus all of that. It's a pipeline. Do you have cat face or deer face turned into let's turn our face to the side and analyze the slopes of our noses like fucking eugenicists? And I think that because we are so used to seeing the alt-right pipeline as marketed towards men, it's more difficult to recognize and understand when it's being marketed towards us in beauty spaces. It is not a coincidence that all of a sudden skinny people are coming out and declaring that they love being skinny. It is not a coincidence that brands that formerly claimed to care about diversity or whatever are rolling back on their darker skin tone. People are now openly saying the R slur on social media again like it's normal. All of a sudden it's become accepted to declare on this app that you don't care about Palestinian people and their genocide. As we scroll and consume and even participate in social media, we need to be engaging in critical thought. Media literacy is dead. Can we revive it, please?
A huge reason why I've never pushed Black girl luxury
in critical thought. Media literacy is dead. Can we revive it, please?
You know, this may be controversial, but I'm going to say it. When you truly start to embody the spirit of self-love, you're not going to be comparing yourself to other people, but you're going to be focused on your privileges. It's a privilege to be smart. It's a privilege to be born in certain families, to have certain relationships. Some people don't have parents. Some people don't have great relationships with their parents. It's a privilege to be personable. It's a privilege to be able to communicate well and express yourself well, to be social and to be able to network and to create opportunities for yourself. It's a privilege to be educated. It's a privilege to be pretty. It's also a privilege to be intelligent. Because intelligence is a spectrum, and I keep saying this, that intelligence is a spectrum. A lot of people don't have the ability to critically think. They have to be spoon-fed information. It's a privilege to be able to retain information. Like maybe you're the type of person where you retain information fast, quick. Other people may struggle. It is a privilege to be a strategist. It's a privilege to have certain skills. We are so focused on the privileges that we don't have that we don't see the privileges that we do have. And so you may not be the person where you're seen as conventionally attractive, but you can be extremely smart. You can be extremely smart. The girls that I was in school with when I was younger who were conventionally unattractive, but they were extremely smart, they went very far in life. Very, very far. So if you want to focus on just the appearance and just the surface level aspect of privileges, that's your choice. But there are so many other privileges that you may have that you're not even acknowledging because you're focused on the privileges that you don't have. And I came across a video on TikTok, and there was a Black woman that said, "F it, I'm going to use my pretty girl privilege to my advantage." And of course, there were people in the comments that had an issue with that. Keep in mind, this is a Black woman. Black woman doesn't really get as many privileges as other women or other people in the system. So the fact that she was born pretty, who am I to tell this Black woman that she can't use her pretty privilege to get the things that she wants? It never stops. And this is why I gave the commentary about the election. Black women, you don't know how to compete. You don't know how to compete. And the reason you don't know how to compete is because you're only focused on your losses. You're only focused on what you don't have. Your only focus is your lack. You are in scarcity and you're not even seeing the things that you do have. And that's what's sad about this conversation. That's what's sad about it. Kim is slim. She can use that shit to her advantage. You're smart. You can use that shit to your advantage. You're talented. You're creative. You can use that shit to your advantage. But if you want to keep focusing on your lack, then these conversations are going to continue to trigger you. But when you truly embody the power of self-love, when you truly embody the spirit of self-love, you will actually see how amazing you are. And it may not be comparable to the standards in society. It may not, but you can make it work for yourself. You can. See, self-love is all about embracing the things that we cannot change. And some of you have not done that. That's why this conversation is so loud, because you're still in lack. You're still in lack, and you still don't think you're good enough. You still don't think you're worthy enough. You still don't think you're pretty enough. And you're more than enough if you would focus on what you have to offer, because we all have something different to offer. We all do. Kim has something to offer. I like Kim because Kim reminds me of Tony from Girlfriends. That's why I follow her on TikTok. She reminds me of Tony, the girl that most likely grew up spoiled, was around in environments that were PWI, and she probably struggled being in a Black family, being around white people. She probably struggled in both areas, but this is who she is based off of her experiences. And who am I to shame her for that? If she wants to use the fact that she was born slim as a privilege for her to get ahead as a Black woman in this system, Who am I to get upset about that? So let's continue though. Let's continue. Now, this woman, she gives a different perspective, which the title of this is Black Girl Luxury. Aesthetic requires emulating whiteness. Obsession with being thin is a huge unspoken tenet. So let's see what she has to say.
You know, a huge reason why I've never pushed Black girl luxury content, Black girl soft life content, even though I'm somebody that on the surface like occupies that aesthetic, is because ultimately I understand that pushing these movements is rooted in patriarchy and white supremacy. And a huge unspoken part of the social contract of upward mobility, and particularly like wealth for white women, is the obsession over the obtainment of skinniness and thinness. That being thin and maintaining thinness throughout your life as a like rich white woman is something that they start obsessing over as girls. And I know this because, you know, if you follow me, you know, I went to prep school. And by the time I was in like 9th grade, at least 3 people that I knew had gone to rehab for ED. It starts really young, and it's something that continues throughout your entire life. So, of course, to me, it makes logical sense that if there is a segment of the Black community now that is pushing the kind of like wealthy white woman aesthetic, because let's just be honest, that's what it is. And I'm saying this as a Black woman who, again, I'm wearing Lululemon right now. I have a silk press. I'm wearing Uggs, blah, 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 blah. But it's still kind of like emulating a certain class and race of people who idolize that. And being a Black woman who navigates in those spaces, thinness is a currency that acts as a passport for you, you know, particularly when it comes to things like dating. All these narratives around like how Black women need to be like dating up and like dating out. Look, I know what I give. I give rich white guy second life, you know? The first wife, they meet at their Ivy League. They have those kids with that white woman. Second wife, I am conventionally attractive.
Listen, y'all. I listen. She is giving her opinion, y'all. Okay, because she carries that aesthetic. But again, do we know how to hold space for women who have a different experience? Because these opinions are shaped by their experiences. So this is a girl that most likely were in certain spaces where these things were the norm, and maybe she didn't like it, or because maybe she didn't have the best experience. But it doesn't mean that you will have the same experience as her. Okay? So this is her side of it. Now, is the undertone giving, because I didn't like that either. What, like, I don't understand, like, why is Black girl luxury always compared to whiteness? Like, why are we even comparing Black girl luxury to whiteness at all? Because there are Black women who are wealthy, that live in luxury and everything like that. And I mean, think about it. When you really think about it, right? If a Black woman is really in luxury, there's a social group that is attached to that. So they're going to be into certain things that may mirror what white women are into when it comes to luxury. What is wrong with that? Because depending on your environment and what your close proximity is to certain things, whether it's music, clothing, just makeup, beauty, all of that, like, it's probably going to mirror the environment that you're in. So if Black women are really in the space of luxury, it's going to look a certain way. And that triggers other Black women for some reason. And I don't know why. So I don't know. I don't know. But I don't think it's about white women at all. I think it's just about what the trends are in that social group, or what the trends are at that level of wealth. I don't think it has anything to do with whiteness. It can, if you make it about that. But again, that's what you choose to make it about. So, but who are we to say, looking from the outside in, that they're making it about keeping up with white women? Maybe that's what they know, because that is what they can obtain, or that's what they have access to. but we don't have access to that. But who's to say that if we were to have access to that, we wouldn't mirror some of the same interests or some of the same things that they're into or trends? Who's to say that? We don't know. It really depends, y'all. It really depends. But this is her experience. So let's just hear her out, because she made some great points as well. Like I said, when it comes to the women in this video, I can't really say I disagree with their points or their takes, because it's truly rooted in their life experiences, and that's how they were able to shape their opinion when it came to this conversation.
But exotic. By that, I mean, I'm very obviously Black, but I'm skinny. I have the right pedigree. I went to the right schools. I look and present myself a certain way. And skinniness is a huge part of that. Let's just be honest about it. And like, some of the reason why I get really annoyed and pissed off at like the Black girl luxury, soft life, quiet luxury movement for Black people is because like it's a social contract. It is not, as a Black person in particular, if you want to have the social mobility and have like the gains of being in those spaces, there are certain characteristics that you have to occupy constantly, consistently for the rest of your life. It is a very precarious ledge that you're constantly on.
Y'all, I gotta be honest with you. This may be triggering. This is a woman that doesn't want to compete. Because it honestly, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter what space you're in. It does not matter. Like, if you really are trying to be successful in life, it's going to require you to show up. If you want to have a successful life, it's going to require you to show up. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're competing with someone directly, but you taking up space, people are going to see that as a threat. So if you want to be successful and you take issue that you have to show up a certain way because it's a requirement in order for you to be successful in life, you don't want to compete. So just live a normal, average life. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being average at best. But why hold people back, or why take issue with people who do want to be successful, who do want to operate at a high achievement level? What is wrong with that? We talk about Black excellence, and then, well, if we integrate into white spaces and carry that Black excellence with us, we're a sellout. But it's like, how else are we going to go about it then? Like, how else? I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't know. And this is what I'm saying. It's like, Black women, you're coming across very confusing. Like you really don't know what you really want. I don't know. It's like you get access to certain things, or you say you want to embody this or you want to do this, but then you turn around and say, no, not really. It's too much. So what do you want? It's starting to become very confusing to people, including me, because I'm a content creator, and I'm like, damn, I thought we said we wanted this. I thought we said we wanted to do this, and now we don't. I like, it's getting to a point where I don't get it. I don't get it.
Slim Kim was just being honest about it. Of course she cares about being skinny more than anything else. If she wasn't skinny, she wouldn't be able to have some of the stuff that she has. It's a huge privilege. It's a way to like navigate being marginalized, but still having privilege within that marginalization.
And y'all, you know what's crazy is we're upset at a Black woman for having privilege because she's thin, when we know we don't get that many privileges. That's what's so insane to me. If I see a Black girl out here utilizing whatever privilege she has, if it means divesting, I don't care. If that's what she wants to do to win, who am I to get upset with that? Like that, y'all. Girl, I don't know. I don't get it. If that girl wants to sprinkle because that's what's going to get her out here and get her to a certain level in life that she wants to live, who am I to be mad about that? If that is sprinkle is a privilege to her, who am I to be mad at that? It's like it kind of comes across like you're hating or you're envious of what she has and what you feel like you're not able to do or achieve. But if you really embodied self-love and you took a good look at what you are good at, what you do embody. You may be able to get some privileges yourself, but because you keep looking outside of yourself, or because you keep looking at yourself in a certain type of way because you don't meet the standards, you're still in the mindset of lack. That's the issue. Because I'm going to tell you now, with the election, with Trump being in office, the Senate being Republican, and the House of Representatives being Republican, baby, you better get settled in. You better get your seatbelt on. You better get ready for this ride, because it's going to be a wild one. It's going to be a wild ride. If you're offended by Slim Kim saying that she's skinny and she likes being skinny, girl, you ain't seen shit. You ain't seen nothing. You have not seen nothing. And I'm trying to prepare y'all for what's about to come. But it's like, y'all still want to be in this mindset. And I have to say, y'all, I'm not, and it's the girls that are in this mindset. You are still in this mindset of lack, and you're really going to miss out on opportunities that are right there. But because you're not looking at your talents and you're not embracing the things that you can't change about yourself, you're still comparing. You're going to miss out. Like, you're going to miss out on the things that you could obtain if you would focus on the privileges that you do have, and maybe making that work for yourself in ways that the next woman probably can't even utilize because she doesn't have that. Like, oh my God, like, y'all, I could get into how many privileges Black women have. You being educated is one. Talented is one. Black Girl Magic, the girls that are into spirituality and herbalism, I mean, that's a huge privilege that other women don't really have access to. That's all I'm going to say with that. And then also, if you have beauty, some of you look very exotic and you don't have the standard features and all of that, but you look fucking exotic. You're exotic, okay? And you could use that to your advantage, but maybe you need to change the environments that you go in. Some of you are so freaking smart. You're innovative, creative. You could be an inventor. If you could really use these things to your advantage, but you're concerned with the girl that you feel is more attractive than you and how she's able to use pretty girl privilege, and you don't feel like you can do that, but you're very smart. You could launch a website. You could start a new business. Or you could go back to school so you could get a better or a higher position at your job. I mean, like, there's so many choices that you have. Some of you are resourceful. The way you think, you don't think like everybody else. That's a privilege, because that could get you, like, your mindset could get you out of hell. Some people don't have that mindset to get out of hell, but you got it. So it's like, focus on your privileges. We all have them. We do. We all have them. But you're not focusing on that. You're looking outside of yourself and comparing. And that's the issue with this whole conversation.
It's a complex thing. It's a nuanced thing. And again, that's why I've never pushed that kind of content, because as somebody that, like, grew up in those spaces, has occupied those kind of spaces my entire life, I know what I need to do if I wanted to be there. And it's not pretty. It's not pretty at all.
Coming from a person that was on both sides of the spectrum.
And y'all, to be honest, I don't think any of these spaces are going to be pretty. And one thing I noticed about Black women particularly, you think everything is going to be pretty all the time. And you have that expectation that everything is going to be pretty all the time. There's a downside to everything. Okay. There's a downside to dating a man. There's a downside to dating a woman. There's a downside to being married. There's a downside to not being married. There's a downside to having kids. There's a downside to not having kids. There's a downside to working a 9-to-5 job. And there's a downside to being an entrepreneur. Stop trying to find perfect. It does not exist. Okay. You're chasing something that is not real. I think Ice Cube said it best when he was on Cam Newton's podcast, where he said, we both wanted it. Because he talks about, well, how are you able to stay married to someone to one person for so long? Because they wanted to. That's why. That's how their marriage was able to go through decades, and they're still together because they wanted it. And no one is saying that their marriage was perfect. I'm pretty sure there was some ups and downs, but there's a downside to everything. There's no perfect anything. Nothing is truly perfect. And that's why social media is fake to me, because I know people are taking their highlights and showing you, and you think that that's their whole life. And that's not real. There is a downside to everything. There's a downside to being pretty. Halle Berry said, I would like to be told that I'm something else other than pretty. She's been told she's pretty her whole life. So she's embracing aging because she's hoping that people will see her beyond her physical appearance. Halle Berry is gorgeous. That woman is beautiful. But I'm pretty sure she wants to be known and seen beyond that. She wants to be seen beyond being pretty. Maybe she just wants to say, maybe she wants to hear, you're a great actress. You're amazing. Your work is amazing. Maybe that's what she wants to hear then. Oh, you're so pretty. You're so gorgeous. So there's a downside to everything, but you have it in your mind that the opposite of what you're internally struggling with is better. And you know what that is? That's low self-esteem. That's what that is. That is low self-esteem. And that's something that you're going to have to work on. We all have issues within ourselves that we have to work on. And starting with your self-esteem is huge. Sometimes it's not having a good relationship with your ego. And I talk a lot about that. Sometimes it's just you don't know how to speak your shit about yourself. Like you don't even know how to call out the bomb shit about yourself. Oh, I don't want to sound conceited. It's not about sounding conceited. It's about you believing. It's about you believing that that is who you are. And some of you can't even do that because you don't believe it. You don't believe it. But you can point it out in the next woman though, real quick. But you can't even point it out in yourself. How is it that you wake up every day? You look at yourself in the mirror and you can't even point out the things that make you who you are, make you great, make you amazing. Why can't you point that out and speak that over yourself and big yourself up and talk your shit? Why can't you do that? But then you'll turn around and you'll take issue with the next woman who does it. But the issue is not her. It's you. It's you. So there was another girl. She got kicked. Y'all, and then this is content creators are tired. There was a video that Queen Chama just made called Content Creators Are Tired. Lovely T even said, she's tired. We're tired. We're tired. And you want to know why? Because Slim Kim gets kicked out of the Creator Fund program, and so does another Black woman content creator gets kicked out of the Creator Fund program. Jessica, who was just on my platform, I think like a month or so ago, was talking about how she was trying to make a path for other Black women who are naturally into luxury, and how she was getting brand offers from other luxury brands that wanted to work with her, but because she was being bullied in her comments and she was seeing in the brand, she never mentioned the brand, but the brand that wanted to work with her saw all the negativity and decided not to work with her anymore. Baby, it's us. You can't blame these men. You have to start looking at yourself, because now it's getting to a point where we're taking away the opportunities from Black women because of our own lack of shadow work and our own lack of working on ourselves. And I knew that this day was going to come. I made a Patreon video. I was 40 pounds heavier about 2 years ago, was having a Raven Baxter moment where I said, oh my God, there's a divide that's going to happen. It's the unhealed and the women that are a work in progress that are willing to heal and work on themselves. And now it's so loud that now we are hurting ourselves. We can't even blame it on a man at all. We're hurting ourselves, and we're hurting other women while saying we're girls and we have a sisterhood, but we really don't. Because how are we taking opportunities from women that are literally trying to create opportunities for us? Before they can even get the opportunity to create for us, we're taking it away from them. So how are you going to make it? How am I going to make it? How are any of us going to make it? How are we going to compete? And like I said in my election video, Black women don't know how to compete. We don't, because we don't know how to hold space for women who have different experiences. We know how to band together over a man that done did us wrong, but we don't know how to stick together when we have differences. We don't know how to just agree to disagree and keep our distance and just say, but she's a Black woman and I still support her and I still have love for her, even though I just don't get it. I don't understand. But then maybe it's not meant for me to understand because I don't have her experiences. So now we have Slim Kim and Alexis both kicked out of the Creator Fund program because they gave an opinion based off of their individual experiences as a Black woman. And we did that. We did that. Can't blame it on Karen. We can't blame it on Dante and his dusty ass. We have to look at ourselves. That's what we have to do. So Slim Kim, she grew up slim. She has the experience of that. Alexis grew up and she was on the bigger side. She had weight loss surgery and she gave her take about the situation because she has the experience of being on both sides. So let's get into what this woman has to say. This is not Alexis. This is someone else. I didn't catch the whole Alexis situation because her page was taken down. So yeah, her whole page was banned. So I think she got it back, but she was kicked out of the Creators Fund. So let's continue.
I was skinny and I also was morbidly obese, almost weighing 300 pounds. I lost 100 pounds in 1 year through diet and exercising, not having surgery, through diet and exercising. And I want to specify that because there was a lot of people that assumed that I had surgery and I did not. Anyways, Slim Kim should not be wronged for what she said. Maybe the way that she said it, I get it. You could use different verbiage, but for the people that understood, you understood. If I could go back to myself of my smaller version, I would. That is not to say that I do not love myself right now, but I'm uncomfortable in my body because I got to a point where I was actually comfortable in my body. The way that my clothes fit, the way that I looked, the confidence that I had, the way my skin looked, I felt so much better in a smaller body. Now let's go ahead and talk about the other opposite side of the coin. There are a lot of women that are proud of being overweight. There's a lot of women that love being plus size. Love. We have creators right now that are making content about how certain stores do not even carry the correct sizes, even though they're in bigger body. And while I do understand that we should not be, saying one is better than the other because it is not, people should be proud to express how they feel in the body that they have. We spent all of 2020, 2021 preaching about body positivity. Be proud of who you are. Be proud of the body that you have. Is Slim Kim not proud of the body that she has? She enjoys her skinniness. And that's okay. That's beautiful. I'm happy that she does because all too often we see so many girls that do not like being skinny. They freaking hate it. They can't stand being skinny because the world told them that being skinny was wrong. Being skinny is sickly looking. And then on the opposite side, we have plus size women that are proud to be plus size. They live, they breathe, they love it. Slay. But then we have some people that are obese that hate being in the body that they have because society has told them to be skinny. So there's negatives on both sides of the spectrum. Now,
which is why I said, do you know how to hold space for women who have different experiences than you? See, we know how to hold spaces with men because we have similar experiences with men. That's why this all boils down to differences. That's why it all comes down to differences. We can kumbaya, girl, over a man that did us wrong because we can relate to that. We have very similar experience to that. But when it comes to differences in experiences with body image, body weight, and I could go on and on and on and on. We don't know how to hold space for each other. We don't know how to support each other. We don't know how to be there for each other. We just don't at all. And it's really, really sad.
I will say this. I didn't see Alexis's video because by that time she had already been banned off of TikTok. Because damn, getting someone banned off of TikTok is too extreme, especially if they're saying their opinions about their experiences in both bodies. Again, because I did not see Alexis's video, I don't know exactly what was said in there. I can only assume that she was speaking about how she was bigger and where she is now. Only assume. But if in fact she did say something that you guys didn't like, I wouldn't even say wrong because I feel like having your opinion, there's nothing wrong with having an opinion. But if she stated something that did not resonate with you or didn't make you feel good, that should not be a reason to go ahead and report and ban someone's page. Y'all, like, come on now. Social media is supposed to be like a safer space. And that may not be the best space, but it should be a safer space to be yourself and speak about things that other people could be feeling as well. I'm quite sure Alexis was speaking to a very specific group of people, and those group of people that understood Alexis' message They understood where she was coming from, and they understood what point she was trying to get across. Now, because there's people that did not understand Alexis' story or understand Alexis's way of...
Girl, I don't even know who Alexis is. I had to learn who Alexis was through this conversation, y'all. Why am I always finding Black content creators, Black women content creators through drama? And then I follow them and I'm like, what is the problem? Like, what is the issue? Like, I don't understand. She seems very nice. She seems very sweet. Like, why am I always finding dope content creators through a drag on TikTok? And I'm like, I'm not seeing what y'all seeing. What are y'all seeing? Because I didn't see it. Not saying all, but a lot of them. Like, that's how I found Nara. I was like, oh, people are saying her husband is Mormon and she's promoting Mormon, and she's promoting this and she's promoting that. And I'm just like, so let me go see what this girl be doing. Cooking videos? Woo, 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 woo. And we all know why the girls hate Nara, but well, because she gives off this very perfect cookie cutter image where she has love, she has kids, she has a man, she dresses really nice, she's super thin while also having kids. So the girls hate. Then there was a weird situation that I saw with Nara Smith recently where people were trying to push this rumor that she was musty. And I'm gonna tell the girls right now that there was a girl that I went to high school with. She was a white girl. She was the most popular girl in school. Blonde, pretty, blue-eyed. She was gorgeous. And I heard a lot of things about her. I heard that she was this and she was that. And I ended up having science class with her. And it was assigned seating. And for whatever reason, I sat right next to her. When I tell y'all, she was one of the sweetest, kindest people I've ever met in my life. Also, she was the type where she would take notes, and she was really big on using colorful markers to take her notes in science class. Like, everything about her was just so different and unique and sweet. And I heard the worst things about her, like the worst things. And then here I am having an experience with her, and I'm like, who really said these rumors? Like, she was so sweet. But and the reason why I'm bringing this up was because she posted on Facebook recently the other day, and I saw that she had a baby, she got married. Her whole life is a beautiful life. Like, she never went through an ugly phase. I don't even think this girl ever had acne, and she still looks good after just having a baby. Some would say she has the perfect life. And so the rumors that I heard about her, I met her and I'm like, that's not the experience I got. Like, she's very kind, not nice, kind. You know, those people where you can tell they operate in that energy. It's not they're just being nice to you because they pity you or they feel bad for you. Like, they literally are very kind people. They're considerate. They're thoughtful. She was that person. But that's not the rumors that I heard about her. And if I wouldn't have sat next to her in science class, I wouldn't even know how amazing of a person she was, because I could have just easily went along with what everybody else was saying. So I think I was like 16, 17 years old, where I made it a point to never judge people based off of what I heard about them, that I need to experience them for myself because I may miss out on an amazing person. So it's like, but what I noticed is, like, when people are threatened, and when I say threatened I'm talking about like threatened in the way of she's beautiful. So that's a threat to how you feel about yourself. She's kind. So that's a threat when it comes to her personality. You can't hate her when it comes to her being kind, and you hate her because she's beautiful. All of these things threaten you. You feel threatened by her. She also is very social. She gets along with people. So you can't say that she doesn't get along with people. You're threatened by that because you can't find something that is really wrong with her for you to really not like her. And instead of you addressing your own insecurities, you are nitpicking and you're looking for a flaw to make yourself feel better. And then when you don't find that flaw, then you create a rumor about her to make you feel better. And then you create that rumor, you spread that rumor in hopes that people believe that it's true, so that you can validate how you feel about somebody that hasn't done anything to you. You're simply threatened by her. That's it. That is it. That is it. That is it. So let's continue. And that's why being pretty and looking like you have a perfect life, that's the downside of that. So everyone's out here chasing pretty. You're out here chasing the perfect life. But how would you like if people just created false rumors about you that weren't even true? And then people believed them because they wanted to believe them, because they needed a reason to not like you either, because they can't stand how beautiful you are, how they feel like your life is perfect, how people love you. How would you feel about that? So again, there's a con to everything. Stop fantasizing the opposite of what you feel you lack, thinking that if only you had that, your life would be perfect, because it wouldn't. Even the perfect life isn't even perfect.
Speaking or just her point, they may have gotten offended by it. And that's why those certain people were not her target audience. And it's also okay for you to see someone's content and not resonate with it and just scroll by it. Or if you like to leave your opinion, that's great. But to go report and ban is OD, y'all. If she was talking crazy to a certain group, again, because I haven't seen her video, then okay, I get it. I get it. But if she was literally just stating her opinion and not trying to harm other people, just thinking about herself and how she feels about a certain situation, isn't that why you guys followed her in the beginning? Because she had opinions about certain things. You guys liked her opinion. It's sad. How this girl, like, I think she said that this is like a third of her income. That's a lot of money to be gone and missing just because an opinion of hers did not resonate with certain people and they got her banned. That's just my 2 cents, y'all. But at the end of the day, let's not be those types of people. Like, this is people's livelihood. She didn't say anything wrong. I personally don't think it was that deep, y'all.
I think the thing that got y'all triggered about Alexis is that she's supposed to be on y'all side. A lot of y'all want content creators to do y'all dirty work. And when they don't.
Wait a minute. So because Alexis used to be a bigger girl, I guess she was supposed to take issue with what Slim Kim said. I guess I'm supposed to too, apparently. I don't know. I don't know. But like I said, because I've had this platform and I've read the experiences of a lot of different women, I'm not going to be upset. Like I can't. Like I literally can't, because now I too have the experience of being able to hear other women's experience that grew up thin and Black. So who am I to take issue with what Slim Kim said? Because her saying she loves being skinny is a woman saying she loves being fat or she loves being plus size. And it's crazy. My news feed is so diverse that you'll hear a combination of that all up and down my timeline, because my news feeds are very diverse. There's no aesthetic. There's no one aesthetic. It's just diversity. So because of that, I'm not triggered because I'm constantly seeing this one thing on my timeline. I'm seeing like a lot of diverse people, men, women, different sexualities, different lifestyles, different political views, different. And it keeps my mind expanding because, yes, I'm open-minded, but still, I like to keep my mind expanding by being open to different people. So I'm not triggered by that. I wasn't triggered by this, but some people were, and you expected for Alexis to basically come in and, I don't know, defend women overweight or defend the girls who are, and I can't say even defend the women that are overweight, defend the women who are overweight and not happy with their weight. I'll say that, because there are some girls out here, they like y'all, and this is when I had to do my own self-reflection, because I could talk about my glow up and how horrible it was, how people treated me really, really bad. But there are other bigger girls out here. They didn't have the experiences that I had. People treat them well. People actually think that they're beautiful and pretty, and we're called that. Me, I got doors slammed in my face. But then I gotta say this too. I think her name is Samaria, and Takari. I just learned that, and I never noticed it, but there is a hierarchy among bigger girls. So the hierarchy is that the hourglass is, and I'm talking about you're clearly overweight, right? But the hierarchy is that woman is in the forefront, and then all the other women are in the back. And so there's even a hierarchy among plus size women or bigger women where the girls that have more top and middle don't get any real love at all. But the girls that are more curvaceous or whatever, they get more love and they're more pushed at the forefront. I never knew that there was like this hierarchy among bigger women, but I learned about that through that conversation. Had no idea. Gave me a different perspective about, well, maybe I just didn't fit into that. Or it could have been the fact that I struggled. I was the most unhealthiest, so my skin was not the best. I had textured skin. My hair wasn't the healthiest. My nails weren't the healthiest. There are some women where their hair is healthy, their nails are healthy, their skin is healthy, and they look good in how they carry their weight. So every woman is going to have a different experience. It just depends on the woman. It just depends on the woman. And then there are some women, there are some bigger girls out here, y'all. They face cards. And their skin is just amazing. I gotta throw that out there. So you really can't say, you can speak on your experience, but you can't speak for all people. You can only speak for yourself. That's what I'll say. But let's get into this whole Slim Kim and Alexis thing.
When they side with the enemy, y'all go crazy. A lot of y'all want to be lied to. And to the 92%, y'all are starting to lose your faves. They're starting to see that the problem is more internal. And I'm speaking as a collective. And y'all know, we know Machiavelli is one of us. We know Alexis got our back. We know Asia J and a lot of the content creators that
Mecca is another content creator who was giving her take on being from both sides. So it's Alexis, Mecca, and myself who have the experience of being on both sides. It just so happens that our three experiences, and I'm saying our three experiences, not yours, that we were treated better after weight loss. Okay? We have horror stories before, but we were treated better after weight loss. And so that's why they agreed with Slim Kim. If we had different experiences, maybe we would disagree with Slim Kim. I don't know. I don't have that experience to be able to say that. But maybe that's the reason. But I know Mecca is cool as hell. That's why I was like, come on now. Y'all coming at Mecca. I know Mecca cool. I know Mecca cool as hell. That's why I was like, oh no, y'all done took it too far.
Y'all mad at, we know their heart. Instead of y'all listening because they've been on both sides, is World War III. Is this what we do with our partners? Is this what we do with our kids? Is this what we do? They don't do exactly what we want them to do. We're out the door. We're throwing them under the bus. We're burning their relationship down. Is this what y'all do with your friendships? Is this what y'all do with your employers? You know, bringing up white supremacy and colorism into conversations that have nothing to do with that. That explains a lot now, doesn't it?
Black women, we need to have a conversation about this whole Slim Kim thing.
Y'all, it's just y'all making social media exhausting. This was supposed to be a community where we came together, shared our experiences, and uplifted each other. It's turning into a space where we're not doing that. We're coming together and we are putting each other down and trying to get another person canceled over an opinion. It's getting very exhausting. It is. Y'all got me sounding like men. I've even been accused of sounding like Black manosphere. That's a problem, y'all. That's a major problem. But it's like I can't dismiss my own experiences, you know. So I'm just speaking based off of what I'm experiencing, being in this space and dealing with the bullshit. If I'm being completely honest, if I'm being honest. And it makes me feel comfort, and this is why I don't take it personally, when I see other Black content creators dealing with the same shit. It's like, damn. So it's like, I'm damned if I do, damned if I don't. Either way, I'm damned, because at the end of the day, they're gonna take an issue with it. It ain't just me it's not just me, it's other Black women content creators too. I think the worst thing that happened to social media was we learned that you can make money from being on social media. That's the worst thing that ever happened. Let's continue.
Because right off the election,
this woman is saying that Slim Kim made us all lose the plot. There is no plot. That's the problem. There was no plot to begin with. That's the issue. There was never a plot. We can't get past our lack. We can't get past fixating on our lacks. We can't get past our traumas. We can't get past our insecurities. We can't get past our trauma. We can't. I watched the piano lesson yesterday, and Bernice and Willie. And yes, the dynamic is a Black man and a Black woman, but they were siblings. And one thing I noticed was the lack of emotional intelligence. Bernice had her experience, and Willie, her brother, had his experience. The reason why they weren't able to see eye to eye was because, well, Bernice had her trauma, and Willie had his trauma. If you haven't seen the movie, you need to watch it. So Bernice had her triggers, and Willie had his triggers. And you could they would flash back and forth between their differences, right? So when they would try to communicate, they weren't hearing each other. They couldn't hear each other. They couldn't. And the reason was because they couldn't get past their traumas, and they couldn't get past their triggers. So the only thing they could do when they communicated was attack. That's all they could do. So when they would, and they're siblings, right? We're sisters. This is the sisterhood, right? The reason why we can't hear each other, and the reason why we can't have an emotional, intelligent dialogue on social media, is because trauma, triggers, and I'm going to go ahead and add in insecurities. That's why. So we can't even properly communicate with each other. We can't even get to the plot as Black women, as a collective, because we haven't even created the plot. We can't even communicate to create the plot because we're still stuck at the trauma, the triggers, and the insecurities. We haven't progressed as a collective to get to the plot, which is why I say Black women, we're not competing. So I'm going to say it again. The movie is called The Piano Lesson. I'll post it to my community after I end this live. I'll post it to my community. It's on Netflix. It's a really good movie. But that was one thing that I picked up. That was a very loud message in the movie. And so that's what I'm seeing on social media. Black women, there's no plot because we can't get past our traumas, we can't get past our triggers, and we can't get past our insecurities. So we can't even communicate well enough with each other to create a plot. Okay? We can't even get past being in lack and scarcity mindset.
Slim Kim thing, because right off the election, it was all the 92%, we're sticking together, we're all for Black women, everybody else, you're on your own. And 2.5 business weeks later, we are here. We are arguing with each other, we're talking down to each other, we're insulting each other, we're claiming each other's upholding racist standards, we're insulting people's intelligence. And I'm just over here wondering when the hell we lost the plot in 2.5 business weeks. Because honestly, all this is the gap between her intent, speaking about her preferences and what she likes for herself, and not speaking negatively or poorly about anybody, not calling anybody out their name, and your perception. Your perception is shaped by your experiences, your environment, and your own personal traumas. And that doesn't give anybody in here the right to be speaking poorly about each other. I mean, y'all, we a mixed company. Y'all were out here loudly. We were out here loud and proud talking about the 90% we love Black women down.
Did you hear what she said? That we are in front of company? I'm disappointed. I got to be honest with y'all. I'm very disappointed. Very, 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 very disappointed. Very disappointed that we decided to do this. We decided to do this and kick out 2 Black women out of the Creators Fund on TikTok. And now you have other Black women content creators that feel like they can't even really voice their opinions. They can't really share their experiences. And we doing all of this in front of company. But then we get mad. We get mad when we see Karen and her homegirls, Kathy and them, get them brand deals. We see how they're able to grow large communities. But what we do is we'll grow a community. We'll help a content creator grow her community, and then we'll tear it down when she gets to a certain level. But then turn around and have the audacity to get mad at Karen. Black women, what are we doing? Seriously, like, what are we doing? We don't even make sense. If someone was to look from the outside in, and they would be like, what's the plot? What are we doing? I don't even know. I have no idea. Because I thought we were trying to create opportunities for ourselves. I thought after this election and the outcome of the election, right? I thought we were going to start creating a community for all content creators so that we can pour money into that, so it could pour back into us. But how can we even do that?
We all for each other. We support each other in front of everybody else. Telling white women like, we don't trust you. We don't trust you. And then we doing this in front of mixed company. I want to get back to supporting other Black women instead of watching everyone tear each other down. It's my 2 cents. But anyway, I'm gonna drink my damn like magnesium medicine.
My favorite thing.
Well, we're going to have some more lunch. Y'all, I just feel like we're going to keep having these lunch break conversations. We're going to talk about self-esteem again. That's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about self-esteem. We're going to talk about triggers. We're going to talk about traumas. We're going to talk about how to move past that. I'm going to be so annoying because now that I see that this is a major issue, I'm going to be on y'all's ass for sure. For sure. I made a video the other day where I said, we don't have any self-control. We don't have any emotional self-control. Because if we did, these 2 Black women wouldn't be kicked out of the Creators Fund, but they are. We have no emotional self-control. So not only do we harm others, but we have the potential to harm ourselves, and we have the potential to put ourselves in harm's way because we don't have any emotional self-control. And I had women in the chat box in the comments talking about, you don't have any compassion. You don't have any. It don't matter how I say it. You don't want to hear it. It don't matter how I say it. You're going to feel attacked. It don't matter how I can say it in the sweetest, nicest way. You're still going to take issue with it because you want to. It doesn't matter. But you know what? At the end of the day, I'm going to get what I want out of life. At the end of the day, I'm going to get what I want. I'm going to live the life I want to live. So at the end of the day, you can make me the big bad wolf in your life, but really it's you. Because Slim Kim, she may have gotten kicked out of the Creator Fund, but she going to be skinny probably until the day that she die. She going to die skinny. She is. Like, she's going to live a skinny girl lifestyle. And there's nothing you can do about that shit. Alexis, she's still going to lose weight, y'all. Mecca, still going to lose weight if that's what she want to do. It's like, y'all make everyone the enemy, and it's really you. And it's crazy. It's crazy. And you know what I don't like? I don't like agreeing with men. I don't like agreeing with them. I just don't. I don't have the male experience. I have the woman's experience. So when I feel like I'm agreeing with men, I feel like a man. And I'm not a man, I'm a woman. But here I am starting to see what they be talking about. And I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that. Now, and I literally said, I said, Black women, we about to go through a reckoning. We about to go through our own reckoning. And we got women out here lying, scamming. We got women out here being emotionally manipulated. How many times are you as a woman going to allow another woman to come on here and manipulate you emotionally for money? How many times? How many times? And now you're starting to get that man experience of women using their emotions, using their tears to manipulate you. That's what they've been doing. Scamming. It is what it is. And like, listen, Black women are going through a reckoning, baby. And it's going to be well into 2025. It is. And it's to wake you up so you can see yourself. It's to wake you up so you can see yourself. And to be honest, what I'm seeing is sad. It's sad. And I don't know what it was. I thought we were better than this. I did. I thought we were better than this. I thought we were women. I thought we were more mature. I thought we handled things better, but I don't know anymore. Like I really don't. I really don't know anymore. And you can't say, well, it's because you're scorned by this or you're scorned by that. I operate out of love. I have loving friendships in my life. I have loving relationships with my parents, my siblings. I get along with people. I'm at a place in my healing journey where I healed from the pain. And now when I look back over my life, I'm able to reflect on the good times. I'm able to just focus on the good times and not the bad, because I know what happened. So I don't need to rehash that over and over and over again. I've moved past it. So where I'm grateful for the experience. So you can't say I'm scorned when it comes to women. You can't. So again, it's us. Like, we are the problem. And it's time for you to look in the mirror, because if not, you're going to keep embarrassing yourself. You're going to keep embarrassing yourself. That's all I'm going to say. And it don't got nothing to do with these men at all. It's us. Sadly, it's us. And like I said, we can't get to the plot. And the reason we can't get to the plot is because we can't effectively communicate because of our trauma, our triggers, and our insecurities. We don't know how to hold space for other women who have different experiences than us. We only know how to hold space for women who have similar experiences as us. And a lot of times that's regarding men. We're too male-centered to the point where even when a woman has an opinion, like me right now, you think it's because of a man. No, these are my own thoughts. These are my own thoughts. This is not coming from a man. This is not coming from red pill manosphere. You don't like it. That's the issue here. And I'm not male-centered. This is what I'm seeing. This is what I've experienced in womanhood and sharing spaces with women. It don't have shit to do with men. Nothing. I even got accused when I made the comment about no-fault divorce. I personally don't give a fuck about marriage. So why the fuck would I care about no-fault divorce? I don't uphold marriage like it's an end-all be-all experience for me. So no-fault divorce doesn't really bother me. Maybe you're not comfortable with marriage. Maybe you're not comfortable with the idea of what that really means. And instead of you accepting that, you want to project on me like, oh, that's real male-centered of you. No, it's not. I just don't care about marriage. But that's my opinion coming from me, not a man. I had some girl accuse me, oh, you're trying to get you a white man who's conservative. Baby, I don't want to date a white man from America. It would have to be a white man from Switzerland, London, Like, let's really get into it since we talking about me. But see, you're too busy projecting on me, and you think you know me, and you don't. So no, like, no, absolutely not. This comes from me. And stop thinking that because a woman is giving an opinion and she's highlighting our flaws as women, that it's because of a man. No, it's because of her experience and what she's witnessing. Or maybe it's just her thoughts. And it may be in alignment with what men think or what they do, but that doesn't mean that she's centering them. That's another thing. You know you're male-centered when you automatically assume that a woman's opinion, and it may be in alignment with what men think or what they do, you automatically assume it's because she wants a man. Or maybe that's just her thoughts. And that's what I'm saying. We can't even hold space for women to have a different opinion. We automatically will think it's because of a man. Or maybe that's just how she thinks. And you don't like that. So I'm logging out, y'all. I'm going to react to a video because y'all know how I am. I like to bring balance in the conversation. But I'm going to be reacting to that one man in the red pill community that just got exposed because of his baby mama, and he'd been down in the single mothers. Because I got a lot of flack because I was saying that the reason why Isis Paloma, the reason why she most likely found herself in this situation as a single mother with 2 kids was because she was listening to Kevin Samuels. So I'm going to be reacting to that to bring some more balance to the conversation. Because, like, listen, men got their issues. We know that, right? We know that. But how can we even focus on their issues if our home is a mess? How can we focus on them when our shit ain't together? Because how can you speak on another person and it's like you not even doing what you need to do for yourself? It doesn't even make sense. It doesn't make sense. But I do want to react to that because, like I said, I tried to tell y'all, even when red pill was in its prime, that those men don't get women. They don't get women, or they don't get the women that they really want. So you getting triggered by them, you wouldn't even give them the time of day in real life. And you're sitting up here triggered and insecure about some dumb shit that they said, and you wouldn't even pay them any mind in real life. Because if these men were actually getting the women that they wanted, they had access to the women that they wanted, why are they with the women that they claim publicly that they don't want? So I'm going to react to that. But honestly, I see both sides. Like, I see the men being exposed and I see the women being exposed. And to be honest, I don't really know who's worse. I really don't. I don't know who's worse. I don't know who's worse. And then you know what I did realize? I realized that everyone uses the buzzword accountability, but why is nobody taking accountability? Why is everyone using the word accountability? And I'm talking about men and women. Accountability. But ain't nobody really taking accountability. We still blaming people, places, and things and situations. Nobody's really taking accountability. Not the men and not the women. That's how I see it. So y'all enjoy the rest of y'all's day. Like I said, I don't know if I'm gonna do tomorrow. Like, maybe I'll sit with y'all on Thanksgiving and react to that. But I do, because I'm making a playlist for the red pillars that are getting exposed. Because like I said, I want y'all to see the men that you were listening to and taking advice from, or even if it was, maybe you weren't even taking advice, but you were like listening to them and then looking at yourself differently. Like, I just want you to see the type of men you were listening to, and hopefully you will learn to never in your life do that again. All right. So y'all enjoy the rest of y'all's night. Please give the video a thumbs up, and I hope to see y'all in my next one. I don't know. I don't know who's still listening to these men. I ain't listened to these men since 19. Girl, it's been a minute. I don't know what they talking about. I have no idea. We gonna have to watch and tune in. Okay, so tune in with me so we can see what the hell going on because I have no idea.